AI can often feel like a bit of a magic trick, right? It just gives us the right answer. But what if we could pull back the curtain and ask the magician exactly how the trick is done? Well, today, that's what we're going to do. We're going to peek inside the mind of an AI and see how it solves a puzzle.
So let's set the stage. We've got an AI model that can identify different types of iris flowers, and it is perfect at it. It literally never gets it wrong. But honestly, perfection isn't even the interesting part. The real question, the one we're here to answer, is how? How does it actually know?
100%. I mean, think about that. It's flawless. This makes our AI the perfect witness. It has completely cracked the code for identifying these flowers, and if we can figure out its reasoning, we can learn that secret for ourselves. To understand the how, we have to start by looking at the evidence. Now, in the world of AI, that evidence isn't fingerprints or alibis, it's data, and we call the individual pieces of data, the individual clues, features.
So a feature is just any measurable piece of information the AI can look at. In our flower mystery, the clues are things like how long the petal is, how wide it is, and then the same measurements for another part of the flower called a sepal. The AI's whole job is to sift through these clues and figure out which ones actually matter.
Now, here's a really important point. Not all AIs are easy to understand. Some are what we call black boxes. Think of super complex neural networks. They give you the right answer, but trying to figure out how is almost impossible. Luckily for us, our model today is a white box, a type called a decision tree. And that means we can pop the hood and inspect its logic directly. We can basically interrogate it.
And that brings us to the best part. Because we're working with a white box, we don't have to guess or assume anything about what it's thinking. We can just ask it, straight up. We can ask it to reveal exactly how it solved the puzzle.
We literally have a direct line to the AI's brain. So we can ask it a very simple, very direct question. Hey, of all those clues you looked at, the 4 different measurements, which ones were the most helpful? Which ones actually led you to the right answer every single time?
And this right here, this isn't just an idea. It's the actual tool we use. This is a real line of code. When a data scientist types clf.featureimportances_, they are literally saying to the model, okay, show me your work. Rank all the clues you used from most to least important.
And boom, here's the answer. The AI comes back and tells us loud and clear that petal width and petal length were, by far, the most important clues. I mean, look at that chart. They account for almost all of its decision-making. And what about the sepal measurements? The AI says they were pretty much useless. It basically just ignored them.
Okay, so that's a pretty bold claim from our AI, right? It's telling us, if you want to tell these flowers apart, just look at the petals and forget everything else. But a good detective always verifies the testimony, so let's see if the visual evidence backs up what the AI is telling us.
And here it is. This is the smoking gun. On the left, we've plotted the 2 features the AI said were important, petal length versus petal width. And look at that. The different species, shown by the colors, break out into these clean, separate clusters. It's super easy to tell them apart. But now look at the plot on the right. This is the sepal data, the stuff the AI ignored. And it's a complete mess. The colors are all jumbled up, overlapping. No wonder the AI ignored it. It was just confusing noise. The AI's logic was absolutely spot on.
So, we did it. We solved the flower mystery. We know the AI works, and crucially, now we know how it works. But this is way more than just a fun little exercise. Why is this process, peeking inside the AI's mind, so incredibly important in the real world?
Well, the payoffs are huge. First, there's efficiency. Think about it. If we now know that sepal measurements don't matter for this task, we can just stop collecting that data. That saves time, it saves money, it saves computing power. But second, and this might be even cooler, we gain real insight. We didn't just train an AI, we used the AI to teach us a fundamental truth about biology. For these specific flowers, the petals are what truly define them.
And that really brings us to the final big idea. We just did this for flowers, but what happens when we apply this same technique to something like medical diagnosis, or financial markets, or climate science? If we can build AI that doesn't just give us answers, but can also explain its reasoning, what other profound secrets about our world are just sitting there waiting for us to discover?